Hi. I couldn't keep up with my upload schedule because guess what? Right after I made my last video, I got sick. And I don't mean just any kind of sick, I mean so sick I needed to go to the doctors and get antibiotics and stay in bed like the entire time in the middle of a move. I'm moving. As you can tell, my background's completely different. Sorry about that, especially to the patrons on Patreon. Without further ado, chapter 343. Mami showed up, and the teaser for this chapter was who was that person. Initially, I thought it was who was that guy, but apparently it reads who is that person. So we'll have to see which one it is, who we talking about. Without further ado, I'm Faye talking about the girlfriend stuff, and let's mosey. I love how Kazuya is like stretching out his hoodie. I do that sometimes when I was younger too. I would like, when I'm standing and just want to make some sort of motion, you would stretch out your hands like that. Mommy's just sitting there, so awkward. Oh, that's so cute. I don't think Mami's ever had this. I don't think Mami has ever had this. A cover page where like Reiji actually breaks down Mami's fashion. It's usually Chizuru's fashion that's getting broken down. Sumi's, maybe Ruka's, but I don't think I've ever seen one with Mami. Rating 343, The Date and the Boyfriend, part 23. Mami Nanami's outfit for today. A sharp tailored jacket that gives an air of sophistication. Oh my god. Yo, do you know why I'm popping off? You know why I'm popping off? It's because the guy she's with, Toru Hakaba, I was asking my Japanese friend about his name and like what it means and all that shit. Cause you know the names in this series tend to have meanings and shit, right? Well, his name is apparently a very aristocratic name and it's supposed to sound all fancy and sophisticated and all that bullshit. Yeah, so it's reflected in the clothes Mami is wearing around this person, how he himself is dressed, even though the guy's literally dressed kind of like Kazuya, which is fascinating considering when we first saw him walk into the place, he wasn't wearing like this. Perfect balance between mature and childlike. A high-waisted pleated skirt that shows off her girly charms. Low-heeled loafers, comfortable enough even for an amusement park. It's interesting she's wearing loafers, so Mami kind of looks like she's wearing the school uniform. As Reiji said, it's mature yet childlike. It's mature in that it clearly looks older, a little more mature, like the jacket gives off a more mature vibe. Even the skirt, in particular the shoes and the socks that she's wearing kind of give off the vibe of like she's still kind of in high school or something along those lines. The classic matching pleat jacket and skirt. I'm feeling a European university girl vibe. Gee, I wonder. Yeah, that was really cute. That was really cute. I like that. This actually confirmed a lot of my theories from the last chapter that I'll have to upload at some point, where I literally just said like Mami's whole vibe that I'm getting from her is that she's intentionally looks like she's foreign, and that matches with her hair, that matches with like a lot of the things that she's wearing, and it's even in like the Paris thing. And yep, Mami's face is hidden. Notice how in the last chapter when we first see Mami, her face is literally hidden like in shadow. You're seeing it, but it's the only face in that entire scene hidden in shadow. Now, Mami's face is literally hidden behind her bangs. You don't even see her face. You don't even know what's going on, right? Why did it have to end up like this? I just wanted to scout out the place for my date with Mizuhara. Now I've been hit with a major plot point. Plot twist, brother. What's Mami-chan doing here? Is it just us two right now? What do we even talk about? Mami-chan brought a guy along too. Will she be mad that I saw them? Dude, over there. Damn, she's fine. She's gotta be a model. Cute face too. She's totally my type. Still. Oh, we're fast. Yep. Okay. So a lot of you will see this part and you're gonna be like, oh, Reiji's doing the thing where he's highlighting the girl is cute and all that bullshit that he usually does with the fucking manga. Actually, this works thematically and perfectly. One thing I've started to notice as I've gone through Reiji's works is I've started to notice whenever he does this stuff, there's usually a meaning behind it. He's trying to get you to pay attention to certain little details. He's not just trying to tell you, oh look, the girl is cute. Yeah, that's part of it. Don't get me wrong, that's part of it. But he's usually trying to point out something kind of important. In this case, first, before we even read this, the first thing we're pointing out is that Kazuya does the same exact thing that he did with Minnie, where he wasn't paying attention to how pretty Minnie was. Someone points it out, maybe someone hits on her, someone says something, and suddenly he looks at her and his perspective kind of changes. With Mami, you notice how when they initially started, he wasn't looking at her. He's looking away from her just as she's looking away from him. And then these guys pointed out, and now he starts looking. And now we're going to notice something interesting in the description Kazuya gives. So there's layers to this. It's not just one particular thing. She's looking crazy stylish today. Even here in Joypoli, she's cut above the other girls. You can't pull off a skirt like that without her figure anyway. She smells amazing too. Wait, did she change her makeup? She looks way more mature than she did when we were together. Ooh, 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 that's brutal. But she's dressing up like that. I guess it really is a date. The guy said they knew each other pretty well. So this part, my friend Mute told me about this part. He was telling me like a specific detail. Apparently, he specifically indicates a deep relationship, not just pretty well, like they have a deep emotional relationship. It's just in English, it implies something along the lines of sex. It makes sense though. She did say she had a guy that she liked, and if Mami-chan sets her sights on someone, there's no way anyone could resist. They've probably had sex too. Oh, there it is. There it is, yeah. The theme of sex is kind of important here, and the fact that it keeps getting brought up is kind of important, especially considering, remember when Kazuya and Mami broke up? Like, he literally thought about this thing, like the idea that Mami was having sex with someone else. Well, it's complicated, so I'm not gonna get too deep into this topic, but I think there's layers to this, and people oftentimes don't delve into these layers, specifically because we don't like the idea of sex. Sex is literally taught as a thing that we just kind of put in the fucking closet, and we don't goddamn talk about it. There's limits, and it's complicated, and I feel like I can't really describe it all the way here in the video. However, I just want to point out that sex is a relevant theme in this current arc and topic and what's going on with Kazuya and Chizuru. Ugh, my mind just keeps wandering. I haven't changed at all. Pheromones. What the fuck? Oh, he's remembering chapter 263, which, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That chapter informs this chapter, so him nodding back to that is literally telling us, think about that chapter, okay? This is the first time I've seen Mami-chan since then. Still don't have a clue what she was after. She knows that Mizuhara and I aren't really dating. I remember her saying that much. I'm grateful that she hasn't told everyone despite that fact, but how does she actually feel about Mizuhara and me? No. More importantly though, the silence is killing me! Did you come here often? Joy Police, I mean? It's my second time. Oh, cool. I can't keep the conversation going. She's not elaborating at all. Is it even okay to ask who with here? Is it okay to ask her about the guy from earlier? Who's the girl? I was right. That girl who was with you, is she a friend? Oh, yeah, right. You mean Yamari-san. She's my junior in Narama U. I wanted to come and check out Joy Polly, so I figured I'd invite her too, you know? Since she was free. There's no way I can tell her about my date with Mizuhara. This is the only way I can put it. I'm not lying. I see. So Mami is literally acting like Chizuru used to act. And I think that's very intentional by Reiji. Mami is like kind of easy to read and not easy to read at all. Was that good enough? How did she take it? I can't tell. Wait, this is my chance. I can ask about that guy now. It's my turn. What about you, Mami-chan? That guy with you. Is he your boyfriend? Oh. Okay, so it's just both of them. It's just both of them. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. It's just both of them, right? I'm like, it's my turn to ask. My turn. Now that I've actually said it, I'm starting to panic, but the timing was right. Huh? Wait, seriously? Silence? Was I wrong? Are they not going out? Or was it just wrong to ask? He did say that they know each other pretty well, though. The guy's words. What else could that imply? Any attractions? Huh? Did you go on any attractions? Attractions? Yeah, a ton. Back to the original subject. Actually, she changed it entirely. I guess she doesn't want to say. They're taking their time, huh? Nope, that's enough questions. Man, what am I even thinking? Of course he's her boyfriend. What else could he have been implying? She hates me, and rightfully so. Why would she want me prying into her business? It's nothing to do with me anymore. Sorry, I've gotta go. Huh? Oh, right. Back to Hakaba-san. Mami-chan must have felt pretty awkward too. I mean, duh, we don't talk anymore. I know it's my fault and all, but do things really have to stay this way forever? Yeah, that's just wishful thinking, isn't it? Dude, I've had situations like this. Okay, so I can tell Mami leaving is gonna bug some people because they probably expected Mami to tell Kazuya about all this shit, you know? But my friend Jaws, who's a huge Mami fan, was literally saying this, and I agreed with him at the time too. Mami might not have like the strength to tell Kazuya right now. She's in a really vulnerable state. She just got caught off guard in a situation where she doesn't know what to do. And Mami isn't actually courageous. That's the thing. Mami isn't actually as courageous as people think she is. Mami just puts on the facade of being strong, and she doesn't see her own strength. So in many ways, like, this is why like her and Chizuru are very comparable, is like Mami and Chizuru do very similar things, except Mami can't face herself and she's afraid to face the negativity, whereas Chizuru confronted that element and faced it head on. And even though she's struggling, she's still trying. Mami has kind of frozen. Mami's just kind of frozen, and she doesn't know how to move anymore. She's just kind of froze. And again, I think some people are probably gonna complain about this, but I do think Reiji's setting up something kind of important for Mami here. And I do love that idea that like Kazuya wanted in some ways to repair this relationship. Sure, him and Mami probably won't go out. That's not what he wants. That's not what Kazuya is thinking at all. But he does want to repair this relationship. After everything I put her through, I can't just ask for things to go back to normal. I'm really sorry, Mami-chan. Ouch. Oh? Huh? What's up? Why the sudden pause? He's not my boyfriend. Huh? Oh! Spread. Yo! We're getting a spread. Holy shit. He's not my boyfriend. Huh? She looks so much like Chizuru, brother. She's so in love. Oh, and she said it. She actually like mustered up the courage to say it. Yeah, she was gonna run away and she mustered up some courage. Good for you, Mami. Good for you, Mami. Nice. You know, look at her. She looks so cute. She looks like Sumi. It's so cute. It's so cute. She's adorable, dude. Mami's so adorable now. Oh, I see. Pout? Oh, she's pouting. Oh, she's upset that she didn't. Oh, it's so cute. So, what is he? I mean, huh? What? None of that makes any sense. Yo, I'm back. You Mori-san. Huh? Where's Mami-san? Ready to go? She left already. She probably went to find Hakaba-san. I guess we can take a break at the cafe and head back then. Sure. But man, those two were like a celebrity power couple, huh? I didn't know there were any girls that pretty in Narima apart from Chizuru-san. He's not my boyfriend. Oh. Ends. I literally thought it was gonna end here. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna fucking end here. I was like, bro, he's gonna fuck us. He's gonna fuck us. And then he gave us one more page. And I'm like, oh, I do think one more page works though. And it's interesting, right? The fact that Mami felt like she needed to tell Kazuya this, but then she pouts after. Maybe she wanted Kazuya to react differently. Maybe she's freaking out. It's really interesting. And again, at the very, very final scene, we don't see Mami's face again. We don't see her face again. Dude, Reiji cooks. As I said, the whole reason Reiji highlights this whole thing where Kazuya like looks at Mami and checks out her figure and all that shit. Again, it's for story purposes and it's to be cute, right? It's both. It's both. Let's not deny it, it's both. It's okay to say it's one thing, but remember, there's always another reason for the reason you're seeing things, and you gotta understand like the reasoning and pay attention to the details. A lot of people probably just gonna assume, oh, he just did it to pad page. No. There's a reason, and I already pointed out the reason. Pay attention to what the fuck I was saying. Now, we had the whole thing where Mami was too scared. She couldn't handle it and she was gonna run. She was literally gonna fucking run out of here. She's like, I can't handle just sitting next to him. I'm freaking out. I gotta get out of here. And she tries to run. As she was running, Reiji does this thing where in the structure of the narrative, he has Kazuya assuming something. And then to counterpoint that something, he has Mami like say this, right? It's very Chizuru-esque, isn't it? Go back to the early parts of the series. I'm telling you right fucking now. Go back to the early parts of the series. Go back to the current, some of the current chapters in the series where Kazuya would have a misunderstanding or something. Or no, actually no, I'm not. Hold off on that thought. I'll come back to it in just a sec. Go back to the earlier parts of the series and notice how Kazuya would assume certain things. Like a good one is right after Chizuru's play. Chizuru's very first play that we see. Kazuya and Chizuru go on a date. Kazuya thinks, oh, this is just all our relationship amounts to. It was just rental. I should move on. And then as the rental time runs out, Chizuru turns around and tells him, okay, I want to go do something together. Something like that, right? And that's what happened all the time. It's the wishy-washy middle ground where you don't know what the dealio is. I was gonna say it's similar to the current events in the manga, so we're coming back to that topic, except it isn't. The reason I say it isn't is because Chizuru's going out of her way to fix these misunderstandings. Great example, right after they played the card game and Kazuya made all these assumptions, Chizuru literally shows up to him and says, don't get the wrong idea. The things that she used to say to distance herself from Kazuya is now the things she says to bring him closer. She says, don't get the wrong idea. That's not what I actually think. What I want is totally different. And she did it specifically for him and it was super fucking cute. Mami, what she does here is trying to get Kazuya closer to her, but it's wishy-washy. She only has the courage and the ability to give him this one answer, that he's not her boyfriend, because she wants Kazuya to say something. She wants him to move, she can't move herself, which is not healthy in a relationship, right? And that's the thing about Mami's character right now. Mami is in that position in the narrative where she essentially wants Kazuya to be her knight in shining armor. That's literally it. You don't believe me? What did Minnie call Kazuya in the last two chapters ago? She called Kazuya a brave hero. Suddenly, we see a damsel in distress. Mami is literally a victim, a hostage in her own family home. Here, let's delve into this a little more. Hakaba's name, Toru Hakaba, literally reads a white horse passing by. Not a white knight on a horse, a white horse passing by. So Mami wants her knight in shining armor on a white horse to save her. Kazuya is literally called a brave hero by Minnie. And then Hakaba is the white horse passing by. He's not actually helping, and he's not even a knight, he's literally just a fancy horse. And that's why his name is aristocratic. So Reiji literally spells this shit out in the naming. This is something that will get missed in English because translation and shit, right? Like, what, you want them at the very end of the page to tell you exactly what their fucking names mean, right? They might not even know that. In that same way, here's an interesting little tidbit. Mami's name, Mami Nanami, literally reads, beautiful hemp Mami of the seven seas, Nanami. Okay, so what's interesting about this is that hemp is a word Reiji specifically wanted to include in Mami's name. What is hemp? Hemp is a form of cannabis. However, it's not a psychedelic that gets you high. It's actually used for pretty much everything else. It's actually good for paper, it's good for fibers, it has oils, they use seeds, shit like that. And interestingly, hemp is great for feeding horses, because it has a lot of proteins and oils that are great for horses. So Mami is literally being sold as a product, as a tool by her parents. It's literally in her name, and she's being given to this horse, if you will, to eat. In contrast, you have Kazuya, whose name literally means peace shared under the tree. And that's literally what Kazuya's name means. And it's about Kazuya literally shielding, protecting, because trees can be like a sanctuary. He's sharing his peace. He's sharing the peace that he has. So Kazuya is literally Mami's white knight in shining armor, and that's what she wants him to be. But at the same time, Mami isn't moving herself. And that's the thing. There's an irony in Mami's name. Hemp is actually very deeply rooted in Japanese culture. It's actually used in fabrics, it's used in Shinto rituals, it's very, very strong, it's very, very durable, and you can even see it in shit like Demon Slayer. If you go to Demon Slayer, you know how Nezuko wears this kimono? The pattern on her kimono, I think it's called Asunoha, and that literally means hemp leaf. Hemp leaf grow very strong, and there's a deeper meaning of protecting against evil spirits. So in some ways, Mami's name is literally used as a product, and yet on the other hand, it's literally meant to represent her actual unknown strength, the strength she doesn't see in herself, and it's actually meant to protect her. So there's a fascinating dichotomy happening in Mami's name and how it's being used in this scenario, and how Mami herself in many ways is much stronger than she thinks she is, but she thinks she's weak and she needs protection. Reiji's very much building to Mami wanting to be saved, wanting to act, but she's afraid. Mami's very much afraid, and she feels like she can't act on her own. And it's kind of fair. She's literally been conditioned as a victim this entire time. She feels like she can't do anything. To top it off, like, her dad has a lot of power and is pretty much holding like everything she wants hostage. So it's hard to move and do things on your own. For those wondering, Mami has always been in love with Kazuya. She literally just didn't see it in herself, and she finds that out later as the story continues. It's not like a rebound thing where she feels like she doesn't own Kazuya. No, she's actually always liked Kazuya, and Reiji did do an anthology chapter where he delves into this. He delves into how Mami has always liked Kazuya. She just didn't realize she did because she wanted to assume the worst in all men. There's a reason we don't see why they broke up. We never see why they broke up. We don't get the full picture. We don't actually see how it happened. They just did. Mami just suddenly breaks up with him, and we don't get a reason. And the reasons she gives are intentionally flawed or hidden. We don't get the full details. Of course, the other thing like we can take away from this is the nerve reference from Evangelion, where it's both a nod to Minnie, but it's also a nod to Mami. Mami being the character that is literally wearing black in contrast to Minnie's white. where Mami is very much hiding herself in shadows, very much like the leaf in the nerve symbol, where it's literally the leaf from Adam and Eve, where like they eat the fruit of wisdom and they're like, oh shit, I gotta cover my goddamn genitals because, you know, I'm self-aware now. And then the leaf is cut in half and you see the nerve symbol on the other hand. It's meant to represent the mask we put on, the mask to hide ourselves in our private areas, and then the truth underneath. You're still seeing the truth, you're only seeing half the leaf. And so that's the symbolism of the nerve symbol, and this is why it's a nod to Mami here. But even more so, another thing I wanted to point out too, is Mami is literally wearing a shirt that reads Paris. I don't know the full reading, it's probably like a real shirt, but the fact that she has a shirt that reads Paris, it should tell you a lot, because Paris is literally like the city of love. It's literally called the city of fucking love, as she's acting out a fake love with a dude who's literally wearing a hoodie that's also black, just like hers, and it reads priority. This is an important thing that I wanted to point out too. A lot of people want Mami to have a redemption arc. I don't think that's what Reiji's cooking. Reiji isn't trying to make Mami have a redemption arc. Rather, he's trying to get Mami to accept her bad side. Just accept it. It happened. You're not a bad person for doing bad things, right? And Kazuya isn't judging her for these bad things, but at the same time, Mami hasn't told him about the bad things that she has done. She has done bad things and she has not told him about it, because you can still get love despite the fact that you've done bad things, and Mami does not accept that, whereas Chizuru has. Chizuru met Kazuya, she apologized, but she couldn't give him a clear reason. However, despite everyone else judging Chizuru, Kazuya didn't. Just like after Kazuya and Chizuru met, when Kazuya followed her, when Kazuya literally stalked her, Kazuya apologized. People didn't forgive him, but she did, because she saw the best in his character. That's what forgiveness is. It's not about redemption, it's about forgiveness. What most people want, especially from redemption arcs, is punishment and atonement. But that's not what forgiveness is. And I think what Mami needs is to forgive herself, to notice that she herself is not a bad person. Is just accepting, like, I've done bad things, I'm not a bad person. And that's exactly what Chizuru did. Chizuru slowly starts to accept, I've done bad things, I'm not a bad person. And her being there for Kazuya when he did bad things and she realized he's not a bad person, and him doing that for her is literally the whole point. They're working for each other, they're sacrificing for each other, they're forgiving each other, and they're seeing the best in the other person and not assuming the worst in them. Anyways, I went on this really long rant, but the whole point I was trying to get at is there was a chapter 263 and chapter 237 were chapters that Reiji specifically compared, where he showed Mami meeting Kazuya and Kazuya apologizing to her, but Mami not apologizing to him, just kind of staying quiet. It's because she doesn't want to show her bad side. In contrast, you have Kazuya meeting up with Chizuru. Chizuru apologizes to him and he apologizes to her. There's no like clear justification, but Chizuru is still trying to improve. She's still trying to move forward. I think Chizuru is very much like moving forward despite her mistakes and just kind of doing what she can, right? And that's literally what Sayori told her. It's like, you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna hurt people, you don't necessarily need to redeem yourself, just focus on just doing better. That's it, that's all you can do. Just focus on the future and moving forward, that's all you can do. And that's exactly what Chizuru does. Now let's go check out some interesting details. Okay, so the next time is scouting finished. This arc is over, oh shit! This arc is over! Oh fuck! Okay, nice. We're kind of gonna start moving away from this arc and we're gonna actually get into other stuff. And it's fitting that it ends with Mami, the final plot twist in all of this. Now, it's very important that this ends with Mami because of a few different reasons. There wasn't anything big happen here, right? I didn't think there was anything big that was gonna happen here, and I think that's very fitting and is very intentional. But think of it like this. This date is supposed to be the date Kazuya goes on with Chizuru. And the very end of it, there's a sudden plot twist, right? So Reishi's literally kind of foreshadowing how the day is not going to play out as we expected. There's a reason he showed us all the information, there's a reason it played out, and most importantly, there's a reason what Kazuya and Mini did is very much similar to rental dating, and how Mami going on her date with Hakaba is very much also supposed to be a nod to fake dating. Very ironic because she's judgmental of people who fake date, and this was supposed to be a nod to the Sumi date that Kazuya went on and Mami first caught them, and that's when she first finds out about stuff where she initially thought Kazuya was fake dating people and he was like cheating on Chizuru, and she assumed the worst in Kazuya's character. This is kind of a flip on that, but in a darker way. What Mami's going through is pretty much what Minnie described, where remember how Minnie said like love is a lonely battle? It's not lonely for Kazuya and it's not lonely for Minnie, they just don't see it in themselves. But it's actually lonely for Mami, because Mami is lonely and alone. Mami doesn't have anybody. Mommy's screwed, dude. She does not have family. She does not have friends. She doesn't have anything. Like, Mami is literally all on her own. And for her, it really is a lonely battle. She's depressed, she's alone, she doesn't have anybody. And that's kind of sad. It's literally reflected in the childlike but mature dress that she wears. She looks childlike because her feelings are childlike and simple, and she just wants to have them. But at the same time, there's a maturity, a facade that she has to put on because of, like, the fact that she constantly needs to protect herself. It's meant to be a mirror to Chizuru yet again. Every character in the series mirrors themselves. That's exactly the point. And there's a lot happening here that Reiji is intentionally calling back to, intentionally referencing, and intentionally going through. Another thing I really want to point out here is that notice how in the past few chapters there has not been any Chizuru. Barely. Like, very scraps of Chizuru, little tiny pieces of Chizuru, but she's never actually in the chapters. She's never actually present in the chapters, and now it's Mami who shows up in the chapter, and that's very fitting. That's going to play a lot into what's happening here. So it's going to be interesting to see, like, what Chizuru finds out, what Chizuru says. I do think there's going to be a conflict with Chizuru and Minnie, and possibly a conflict with Chizuru and Mami. In particular, she's gonna I think I've said this theory a few times, but my theory is that Chizuru's gonna get really pissed at Kazuya by the end of the date of some way. Maybe she'll be pissed in the date itself. And it's going to be a callback to the very beginning of the series where Kazuya got mad at Chizuru and yelled at her in public for completely unjustified reasons based on, like, his own feelings and his own struggles. And I think that's what's going to happen with Chizuru. Chizuru's going to be the one who's going to, like, yell at Kazuya now. But Kazuya is going to be the reasonable one now. He's going to be like, I already told you how I feel. Nothing happened. I think by the end of this, Kazuya and Chizuru are going to have some sort of argument. And I think that's exactly what Reiji is cooking here. But I do want to point out something interesting, which is the subtlety of Mami's words. And, like, how you can tell she's very much a girl in love, but she's also very much alone, like I explained. And again, like everything I explained with Kazuya, like the complicated relationship that they have. Because Kazuya, like, wants to repair this relationship. Even though him and Mami are not dating, he probably still wants to repair this relationship. He feels bad. He feels like he's wronged Mami. And this is something he's blamed himself for since they broke up. He feels like he's wronged Mami since the very beginning, and he's only kept wronging her more and more. When in reality, that's not the truth. In reality, Mami has wronged him too, and Kazuya just does not see that. And I think this is the thing that Reiji has been slowly building to. Mami recognizing that she's also wronged Kazuya, and that also needs to change, and they need to communicate that, because that's exactly what happened with Chizuru. Chizuru wronged Kazuya. She apologized to him, and then he apologized. It helped bridge the gap. It helped create a comfortable space where if you both apologize, if you both want to repair the relationship, you step up. So this is exactly what is happening with Mami. She needs to step up and essentially show Kazuya, like, hey, like, you didn't do anything bad. I didn't break up with you because you were a bad person. I broke up with you because of my own selfish reasons. And I think that's exactly what Reiji's building to. Kazuya trying so hard and having the awkward relationship with Mami where he still feels guilt, he still feels bad, and Mami not communicating to him, creating that misunderstanding, is basically a nod to the early parts of the series with Kazuya and Chizuru, where Kazuya would assume he did wrong by Chizuru, therefore she doesn't like him. And Chizuru is now fixing these things, but Mami is not. Nodding in some ways to how Chizuru has changed from her role, whereas Mami has further backpedaled into her role, you know? Okay, so that's everything I've had to say in regards to this chapter, at least for now. I'll probably, hopefully, make another video about this. I am a little busy at the moment. There's a lot to do. Again, I'm moving, so things are kind of a mess, and I'm also working on a few other things. However, if you would like to support me and keep helping me with this stuff, consider supporting me on Patreon. You can support me for $1 and you will get access to a lot of things. I'm currently working on a Discord with another Patreon member. I'm also going to start uploading some interesting things, such as my reactions to the anime. I remember recording a few older reactions to the anime. I still have them, so I'm going to cut them up and post them on Patreon, and you guys can check those out. Think of it like a regular series that I'm going to do for that's exclusive to Patreon that you can only see on Patreon, my reactions to the anime, and I would appreciate it a bunch. And with that said, please subscribe, the like button, the bell icon, keep up with the uploads, all that fun stuff. I've been Fate, and remember, let's mosey. Wow, I really want to talk more about this chapter, but my thoughts are organized, and I really want to upload this video already. Okay, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.